on board this virtual fam tour with service from your computer or mobile device to beautiful Cochise County, Arizona, USA. We'd like to ask you to fasten your seatbelts at this time and hold on to your seats as you prepare to experience the remarkable natural wonders of the area. Get your tray tables ready because Cochise County boasts international cuisine, mom and pop delicacies, authentic Mexican fare, delicious local brews, and award-winning wineries. The weather in Cochise County is extremely comfortable thanks to the high elevation. So whether your passion is hiking, biking, birding, climbing, or just a love of the supernatural, you can enjoy extensive adventures all year long. Prepare to enjoy a bit of each one of our communities today, from Benson to Bisbee, Douglas to Sierra Vista to Willcox, as we are cleared for takeoff. Sit back, enjoy, and explore Cochise.
Hey there, my name is Zach, and I'm an interpretive park ranger here at Coronado National Memorial, located in Cochise County, right on the U.S.-Mexico border. I'm fortunate enough to be able to spend time in this unique and dynamic area, one full of stories, history, biological diversity, a million ways where we can find the stories within ourselves. Here in Cochise County, we have 3 national park sites, all providing unique and beautiful experiences in ways of exploring the cultural and ecological history of the Madre and Sky Islands. Fort Bowie National Historic Site, located in historic Apache Pass. We have Chiricahua National Monument, located in the Chiricahua Mountains. And Coronado National Memorial, here on the Arizona-Sonora border. Native American culture is a crucial aspect of the land at all 3 park sites. The Chiricahua Mountains and greater region are part of the ancestral homelands of the Chiricahua Apache. As Spanish colonization turned to pressure by Mexico and the United States, these lands were taken and the native people forcibly removed. Only a few moments of solitude and silence in these beautiful places brings the emotions of peace and serenity. Coronado, interestingly, is designated as a national memorial. As one enters the park through the oak woodlands, it may be a bit confusing to really experience what this park is all about. Some typical questions that come to mind are, where is the memorial? Who is Coronado? And why is this individual of much significance to our nation, to this region, to the National Park Service? And rather than looking directly at the question of why this one man might be of such importance, or why one culture, Spanish in this example, might be the true story of this park, rather this national memorial interprets and commemorates an expedition of 1540 of Europeans, of Spaniards, coming through this area. But instead of focusing purely on the story of this expedition, we look a little bit more at the impact of not only this expedition, but of Spanish or European colonialism and conquest in this part of North America. And if we fast forward 500 years, we can see the results around us. The expedition came through this river valley right behind me. But through time, the landscape, the culture, the people have immensely changed with the additions that the Spaniards brought in the form of agricultural crops, whether they're plants or animals. Religion has played a huge role in how humans interact with each other and the landscape. And so the story that we tell here has not finished. It's not a 2-year story, but rather it's an invitation into looking how we are part of that story, how we are part of humans that contribute to an ever-changing culture and a relationship with the land. and how that plays a role in the borderlands of the United States and Mexico. Having 3 National Park Service sites here in southeastern Arizona in Cochise County is a blessing, not only to visitors, but to residents alike. The amount of ways to connect with the ecosystem, with the wildlife, with nature here is almost unparalleled. The diversity of public lands provides countless opportunities for one to truly understand this unique part of North America. So if I was asked what I enjoy most about this area, would be the access to the beauty of nature and the endless exploring and adventures that provides.
Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Jess.
And we are park rangers here at Kartchner Caverns State Park in Benson, Arizona. And we are super excited to talk about what we have here to offer here in Cochise County. In November of 1974, 2 young cavers climbed into a sinkhole on the side of a hill in the foothills of the Whetstone Mountains. After squeezing, crawling, and duck walking over 400 feet through narrow, twisting passages, they found themselves in a cavern so large that it never seemed to end. They saw incredible glistening formations and could hear water dripping like rain. But from what they could see, there were no signs of any other person ever having been in the cave. Realizing the significance of what they had found, they kept the caverns a secret, along with the landowners, the Kartchner family. They kept that secret for 14 years. Finally, after many secret meetings and some special legislation, the caverns and the surrounding land was purchased by the state of Arizona in 1988, and Kartchner Caverns State Park was born. Before beginning construction on this new park, the state spent years doing research inside the caves and above ground. They wanted to be sure they didn't damage the fragile ecosystem that exists inside the cave, but they also wanted to understand the connections between the desert above and the humid, constant temperature cave below. After many years of research and careful development, the park officially opened to the public in November of 1999. Now, more than 20 years later, Kartchner Caverns is still a favorite destination for visitors from around the world.
Inside our cave, rain or shine, summer or winter, it's always a humid 71 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a drastic change from the desert environment above. Take a few steps and it's almost as if you're traveling into an entirely different world. Thin stalactites in the shape of delicate soda straws hang from the ceiling with drops of water clinging to their ends. When that drip of water falls, it leaves a microscopic ring of mineral calcite, slowly making the soda straw just a little bit longer. Our cone-shaped stalactites silently adorn the cave, resembling forever frozen icicles. We also have thin formations known as draperies hanging from the ceiling, resembling a curtain blowing in the breeze. Some draperies even have stripes of color in them, making them look like strips of bacon. And our delicate twisting formations known as halictites seem to defy gravity as they grow upwards from the ceilings, walls, and other formations. Sometimes a stalactite and a stalagmite will connect, creating a column. One of the most well-known and admired formations in the cavern is a 58-foot column that the discoverers named Kubla Khan. Kubla Khan sits in the center of our throne room section of the caverns and is one of the tallest known cave column formations in the state of Arizona.
Although this park is known for its beautiful caverns, there are just as many things to enjoy above ground. The park has a large campground with sites that can accommodate RVs as well as tents. There are also 2 long looping trails in the park that will take you through the Whetstone Mountains and the San Pedro River Valley. You can also hike into the Coronado National Forest on the Guindani Loop Trail. This trail gains in elevation, giving hikers even more sweeping views of the valley below. But wherever you hike, make sure you plan ahead and bring plenty of water. If you need maps of the trails, just stop by the Discovery Center and see the ranger at the desk. We have plenty of maps to share. If you are looking for a shorter walk or a spot to sit and reflect, Our hummingbird garden is adjacent to the Discovery Center. This garden features native plants and water harvesting features and has several shaded spots to sit and watch hummingbirds and butterflies fly between flowers. The park is also a monarch butterfly way station. We have several plants which the monarchs like to feed and lay eggs on during its migratory journey. And at night, you can enjoy a landscape of stars stretched out above you. Kartchner Caverns State Park is also an international dark sky park, recognized by the International Dark Sky Association for its beautiful night sky viewing.
Kartchner Caverns may be our favorite place in Cochise County, but there are many things to see and do all across the area. You can camp and experience many of the wonderful things Cochise County has to offer. There's a great variety of hiking trails across public lands like the Forest Service, the National Park Service, and the Bureau of Land Management. The nearby historic towns of Bisbee and Tombstone will take you back to the Old West with tales of mining and gunfights. Cochise County also lies on the migration path of numerous bird species, making it a great place to birdwatch. And if you're here at the right time of year, you can see hundreds of sandhill cranes in flight. No matter what your interest, there's something for everyone, and we hope to see you visit us and the rest of Cochise County on your next trip to Arizona.
Hello, my name is Betsy Kunzer. My husband Sandy and I have volunteered here at the Nature Conservancy's Ramsey Canyon Preserve since we moved here 21 years ago. We moved to Sierra Vista because after moving all over, this met our criteria for clean air, a nice place to live, easy access to the outdoors, but especially because we could volunteer at places like the San Pedro River, Coronado National Memorial, and especially here in Ramsey Canyon. Geologically, we're in what's known as the Basin and Range Province, also called the Sky Islands. It's characterized by lots of small mountain ranges separated by block fault valleys filled with grass and desert. And if you look on a map, or down on a map, it looks like a herd of caterpillars moving from Sonora up to Oregon. If you just stand in the valley, it looks like mountain islands surrounded by seas of grass and desert. Here in the Willcox, geologically, we've got a basement granite foundation with balsa quartzite, which is an old beach sand forming the cliffs. We've got some limestone from when we were an inland sea, and then it all got mixed up a little bit by some ancient volcanoes that blew up just south of us in Mexico. One rim of one of those volcanoes forms part of Coronado National Memorial. Each of these mountain ranges and the valleys, but particularly the mountain ranges, are slightly different. Both geologically and biologically. It's called the island effect or the sky island effect with us. Geologically, mines here in the Willcox didn't produce much in the way of either gold, silver, or copper, which is mostly what people were looking for. But you go one mountain range over to the east in the Mules, and Bisbee was a famous copper production town. You go 18 miles to the northeast to the Tombstone Hills, they had some very productive silver mines. Sky Island effect. Biologically, here in the Willcox, we have an agave that doesn't grow anywhere else, the Willcox agave. But we don't have any chickadees. Tufted titmouse takes the place of the chickadees here in the Willcox. We have alligator juniper, but we don't have any one-seed juniper. You go 2 mountain ranges over to the Chiricahuas, they don't have the Willcox agave, but they've got both chickadees and tufted titmouse. And they've got both alligator juniper and one-seed juniper, Sky Island effect. Here in southeast Arizona, we are a hotbed of biodiversity. We have here in the mountains species from the Sierra Madre in the south, from the Rocky Mountains in the north, mixing and mingling. In the valleys, we have species from the Chihuahuan Desert to the east and the Sonoran Desert to the west, also mixing and mingling. One of our big advantages, biologically speaking, is that we have a 6,300 foot elevation difference between the bottom of the valley and the top of Miller Peak. So if you start at the bottom of the valley, you can, in 28 miles, go through 5 different life zones. At the San Pedro River, we have a gallery of cottonwood and willow forest with woodhouse toads and vermilion flycatchers, green-tailed towhees. You go up a level, you're in desert scrubland, and you've got woodhouse scrub jays, possibly a Mojave rattlesnake. You go up one more level, you're in grassland with roadrunners and gopher snakes. You go through a narrow band of oak savanna, and you're here in our beautiful Ramsey Canyon. I'm not at all prejudiced. Madrean oak woodland with 3 kinds of live oaks, Cow's white-tailed deer, which happens to be the 2nd smallest deer in the U.S., elegant trogons, sulfur-bellied flycatchers, coati, the occasional black bear. And if you keep going up, you end up in montane forest on the top of Carr and Miller Peaks with quaking aspen, spruce and fir, Steller's jays, and red zinnia. I love it here. My favorite place is probably, I have to admit, Ramsey Canyon. It has the creek. It's cooler in the summer. It doesn't have as many mosquitoes as the San Pedro River. I love coming up watching the Cow's white-tailed deer just bouncing around on the hillsides in the summer. I love the way the maples turn red and yellow and orange and pink in the fall. I love the way we get more snow than down in town during the winter. Time-release creek water. And mostly I love the fact that I can come up here any day that it's open. It's always beautiful. And I often find something, even after 21 years, that I've never seen before. I invite you to come down. I'll be happy to be a docent and lead you on a walk in Ramsey Canyon. We've got lots of other great people in the area who are just as fond of the San Pedro River and Coronado. Come visit and see what I fell in love with.
Welcome. Bienvenidos. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jeannie. The last name is Jordan. I was born and raised in Douglas, here in Cochise County. I am what they call the old cheerleader. For the last 30 years, I have been doing tours in this area. I like telling the story of our area. And there's a lot of stories to tell for Cochise County and in Douglas. And so this is one of the things, when I got hired years ago, I'm retired now, but when I got hired, I couldn't believe they were gonna pay me to do this, to do tours, to be able to talk about my favorite place. I like telling people that there's so many adventures. This is like a gateway to any kind of adventure you wanna have. Whether you're into the natural, birding, or whether you're into hiking, or whether you're into histories, you will find it in Cochise County. So for me, working in the tourism, volunteering in the tourism is a real treat. So I invite you to learn more and let me show you. When I do a tour, I like people to see what I see every day. And we have a lot of exciting adventure here in Douglas. All the way from, when I do a tour, I leave it up to you. But I have an agenda. I want you to know that we were the first international airport of the Americas. We have an amazing little museum that you can come and discover our history. We have a Douglas William home it's a museum that captures our history here on the border, whether it's the mining history, the cattle industry, whatever it might be, the railroad, it is at the Williams home. We have a really treat. We have an art car museum. There's all kinds of ways to express art, but there's nothing like seeing the art car museum that we have here in Douglas. That is an adventure to see. We have the Gadsden Hotel. Just look around here behind. You will see one of the grandest hotels in the Southwest. We feel really lucky that it is here in Douglas. We have something really special here in Douglas, and that is the Douglas Veterans Commemoration Project. We have a veterans exhibit that honors all who served, not just from our community that served in Vietnam era, but now that we're capturing the veterans that have served through all of the eras. We have identified many veterans. We have identified over 247 Purple Hearts here in Douglas. We know that there are many veterans out there, and we want them to know that we honor you. We want to say thank you, and this is our way of saying it. So there are many things that you can pick to see here in Douglas. Again, it's the Douglas Williams Home, it's the Art Car World, it is the Air Museum, it's the Gadsden Hotel, it's the Veterans Exhibit. You're welcome to come and explore. And if you look me up, I'll be happy to show it all to you. Douglas has some magic. We're right on the border. Our sister city, which is Agua Prieta translated is water dark. They sit right on the border. We're approximately 10, 11 blocks from the border from where we're filming right now. The community over there is special to me because it is a place that I have relatives. It's a place where there's amazing restaurants. It's very, very accommodating. And it is a place that I love going across and visiting. So living on the border is a cultural experience that I can't even begin to explain other than you've got two cultures coming together and becoming one culture here on the border. Whether you're into the food, the music, whatever it is, and they are a gateway into Mexico. So living on the border is a special treat. What I'd like to offer you is an invitation to come to Cochise County. An invitation to see and experience what I see and feel almost on a daily basis. It doesn't matter if I feel like I want to have a bohemian experience or if I want to go hiking. There's a Chiricahuas there. There's birding. There's these amazing areas to go birding. If I want a museum where the West is, I can go to Tombstone. I can go to Sierra Vista to see the wonders that they have there. There are just so many, or Kartchner Caverns, or name it, it's here, and it's comfortable. There's not a lot of street lights. So you have the ability to really sit back, enjoy, and oh, I gotta tell you, food everywhere in Cochise County, excellent. You know, it is one of those places that if you're into whatever food you wanna experience, you will find it here in Cochise County. What I'm offering is, please come to Cochise County and experience what we experience every day here.
Patty, I'm the owner of the Horseshoe Café. Been here since 2010. It's a three-generation business. We do have a lot of sites around here for you to see. We have Kartchner Caverns. We also, you could go to Tombstone, which is only a few miles away, and then on up to Bisbee.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm Patty's daughter. I help manage the Horseshoe Café. We have three generations of women running the restaurant right now. My daughter is the baker. We're known for our pies here. The restaurant started in 1936 with three generations of women. You'll notice our pillars with all the brands on them. We have many murals, as the whole city has murals throughout it.
I love Cochise County. I moved here about 11 years ago, opened a restaurant, the Horseshoe Café, and I would encourage everyone that comes to this area to visit Cochise County and come to the Horseshoe. We're only 10 minutes away.
I love Cochise County. I moved here about 6 years ago, and there's so much to do here. There's hiking, there's trails, there's museums. There's a great museum right here down the street from the Horseshoe Café that I encourage you to go visit. It tells a lot of history of the whole area, surrounding area. The Horseshoe is known for many unique things here inside the building, but it's also known for being haunted at times. We've had many waitresses experience many different things. In fact, the other day, I was talking about the weather and somebody behind me said, "What?" But there was nobody there.
Also, we've had other incidents where we have a door that does not swing, and one day it started swinging all by itself. We've had several on occasions on cameras. We've caught them on the cameras late at night in the kitchen, and you see all these orbs running around like they're cooking and cleaning.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the baker here at the Horseshoe. On any given day, we have about 12 different varieties of desserts available. My favorite thing to make is the pies. We have customers that just come in for pie every day. I started baking here, and my mother showed me how to make the pies and the different desserts, and she learned from her mother. So it's 3 generations of bakers. I make fruit pies, cream pies, apple dumplings, brownies. Probably our most requested one is the chocolate banana. I got started baking. My grandmother needed help, and I took over for my mother, who had taken over for her. I really enjoyed it. It's been fun. I love Cochise County because it has a variety of communities, and if someone was going to come visit here, I'd take them hiking at Kartchner Caverns and come back to the Horseshoe Café for a piece of pie.
Hello amigos, this is Marcelo with 143 Street Tacos. I want to introduce this logo here. 143 means I love you, Street Tacos. I immigrated here in '91 and I learned English with Sesame Street, and that's why you get kind of a similar logo. I want to let you know that this is my wife's recipes, and we started in the food truck just to experiment, see if this was going to work. And my wife cooks awesome restaurant salsas. We just explored different salsas, different foods, and it worked out. You guys responded pretty well, and now we got this beautiful restaurant. So here in Arizona, we're really close to the border, and we are lucky to have many different styles of Mexican food. For example, our food is northern style, Sonoran style, and we do mesquite grill, but there's other styles in other regions like Guadalajara, there's Chihuahua, there's Baja California, and we are lucky enough to have a lot of this different styles of restaurants here in this county. We really appreciate the different salsas because they all vary from region to region. It just happens to be that we grew up in Sonora, and that's what we can offer, but there's plenty of other Mexican restaurants that offer really, really good food, and from other regions as well. So you might want to go and try them out and have them show you and explain what region they're from and why they taste different from restaurant to restaurant. And amigos, I really want to highlight the features of why Street Tacos is a regional and a Sonoran style. We use real mesquite wood charcoal to grill our meat. We marinate our meats 24 hours for you guys, and then we grill them. All our salsas and our peppers are also grilled in the same mesquite grill style. That way you get that smoky flavor to all our meats. This food is typically from all the northern parts of Mexico. Sonora style has some of the best meats out there, which is Angus and Hereford, because those cows are really rich in fat, and we love those meats because they're juicy. Other parts of Mexico use other types of cows, or they might go without pastor with pork. We specialize on meat because of our beautiful cows. They come from Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Those blended together, and this area here in northern Mexico and southern Southwest will work really good with the fatty meats that we use. And personally, my favorite thing here in this restaurant is the culichi chicken. This is from Culiacan. It's a very big poblano pepper rolled on a mesquite fire, pureed into a green thick sauce, and we put mesquite fired chicken, chop it up, and put that on top. This is very, very good. It gives you some flavors from the Southwest that you never tasted before if you're from the East Coast. This is a regional popular one. Also, the Sonoran dog is a regional popular one. It's 2 hot dogs wrapped in bacon with grilled onions, tomatoes, beans, mustard, and mayo. And you can only find this in Arizona and in Sonora, guys. So those two things makes this region special with those kind of foods. So amigos, one thing of living here in this county, growing up in Cananea, Sonora, I always loved the rich history that this county brings to us. For example, Colonel William Greens opened the mine in Cananea, Sonora. He was a local guy here in Sierra Vista that specialized in cattle. But after a shootout in Tombstone, Arizona, he went to live in Cananea, Sonora. And because the Cananea Sonora copper mine was so successful, he teamed up with the Copper Queen in Bisbee and opened the only other stock exchange here in the United States. Of course, the New York City one and the one here in Bisbee. Copper Queen was making so much money, they decided to open the stocks exchange. So that's a really neat place to go check out. Also, the Copper Queen has very nice tours that you can go inside the mine and then it'll explain everything. So we would love for you guys to come and visit those places here in Cochise County because they're really rich in history. And don't forget to stop by here in our taco shop because this is a part of this community and is all Sonoran style Southwest.
Hi, my name is Brandy Fisher, and I am the General Manager here at Old Bisbee Brewing Company in Bisbee, Arizona. Cochise County has a ton to offer for you to visit. We've got wineries, we've got breweries, we have a distillery now. We also have many international restaurants with cuisine varying from all of the Asian cultures to German to American to Mexican. All of them. In Willcox, we have lots of wineries for you to enjoy. There are 3 breweries throughout Cochise County. Tombstone Brewing Company in Tombstone, Arizona. We've got Electric Beer here in Bisbee, Arizona. And you have us, Old Bisbee Brewing Company, here in the heart of Bisbee, Brewery Gulch. For those of you who don't know about Brewery Gulch, it is considered the heart of Bisbee. So many things have happened here. We have one of the original stock exchanges in the country, one of the oldest continuously still running bar, St. Elmo's. One of the smallest bars in Arizona is room 4. It's literally 4 stools at this little tiny bar. We, Old Bisbee Brewing Company, we are located in the heart of the Gulch. As you continue down Brewery Gulch, there's some art shops. There's a great little mom and pop grocery store. There's the shell of a building that used to be a brothel. There's lots of stairs and it takes you into wonderful neighborhoods. It's just a great place for you to come and enjoy our nightlife and enjoy Bisbee. Here at Old Bisbee Brewing Company, we have 7 artisan beers on tap. One of our most popular is our Copper City Ale. It's a recipe that comes from Bisbee back in the day in the 1880s. It's a delicious amber style beer, very nice and malty and wonderful. We're also a distillery. We have started making Bisbee Blue Gin. We harvest the alligator juniper off the mountains here in the area. It's about as local as you can get. Please stop in and enjoy. I personally love living in Cochise County for the fantastic weather that we have year-round, but there's lots of other things for me to do. I can go hiking, I can go fishing, I can go birding, I can stop somewhere and drink a glass of wine and just enjoy the outdoors. I can hike in Geronimo's footsteps. There's just so much to do here. Please come and visit us. Join me for a beer or a glass of wine. It would be lovely.
Hi, everybody. My name's Rod Keeling. My wife, Jan Schaefer, and I own Keeling Schaefer Vineyards here 9 miles south of the Chiricahua National Monument in Cochise County, Arizona. We're in the very southeast corner of Arizona, and it's a great place to grow grapes and make wine. We're at 5,000 feet above sea level here. That's what really determines the climate in Arizona more than anything else. And at 5,000 feet, it's much cooler than the lower deserts. We have the temperature and the climate that's very similar to Northern California and other places around the world that grow great wine grapes. We've been at it for about 20 years, and we're actually coming up on our 21st anniversary here in Cochise County. And the vineyard was planted, this vineyard we're in right now was planted in 2004. The vines right behind us are Grenache vines, and they all come from clones. Grapes are not planted by seed, they're planted by propagation. And all the clone material here came from France, and it's Grenache, which is grown in the south of France. And there's about a 2-acre block that's right behind my shoulder here. We make about 3,000 to 4,000 cases a year. That's a totally 100% estate winery. And what estate means is that we grow all of our own fruit and we make the wine here on the vineyard. So the question always comes up is, why is Cochise County a great place to grow wine grapes, and how has it progressed over the years? The first vineyard was planted south of Willcox in the Kansas settlement area in 1984. And for many, many years, there wasn't much wine grapes grown in Arizona or even here in Cochise County. But today, almost 75% of all the grapes that are grown and made into wine in Arizona are grown in Cochise County. And this has become kind of the center of the viticulture for the state of Arizona. And it's started to become very recognized throughout the United States and around the world. And so it's an up-and-coming region, makes great wine, and it's a great place to visit. The most important thing about growing great wine grapes is the weather. And the most important single characteristic of that weather needs to be a large swing of temperatures from night to day during the growing season. And here in the very high desert or upland, what we call upland area here against the Chiricahua Mountains, the temperature during the days are warm and sunny, and at night they drop 30 or 35 degrees in the summertime, and they're very cool. And that change in temperature, that diurnal change from day to night, is what is the characteristic of all great wine regions around the world. Rod Keeling again. Here we are in the Keeling Schaefer Vineyards barrel room. And as you can see behind me, we have barrels that are both French and American barrels. And they hold the wine of several vintages going back to 2017. These vintages, this is all wine from Keeling Schaefer Vineyards. And people ask the question all the time, why do you put the wine in barrels? Well, it's number one, it's kind of a traditional vessel to hold wine and to age it. And the aging process is very important. There's 2 steps to the aging process. Some of it goes in the barrel and stays in there maybe for 2 years, 18 months. And then it goes into the bottle. And the bottle aging is almost as important as the barrel aging. So once it's bottled, it goes on the rack and stays there for another 3 to 6 months before it's released. The best wines in this room are the Syrahs. We grow 9 acres of Syrah here at Keeling Schaefer Vineyards in Cochise County. And of those Syrahs, we think that we make 3 different Syrahs, and the best of the Syrahs are really the Shiraz clone that we actually have from Australia. And most Syrah around the world is recognized as one of the top 4 or 5 varieties for high quality premium wine. And our Syrah here in Arizona ranks right up with some of the best in the world. And a lot of my old friends ask me, why do you want to live in Cochise County? And one of the great things about Cochise County, of course, it's a natural place. There's not a lot of population. There's it's just a vast region of high altitude basins and ranges. Here in Cochise County, we have some great natural attractions like the Chiricahua National Monument, really an underrated monument. It is a stunning collection of rock formations and the natural environment. It's really a no miss on your visit to Cochise County. We also have the Fort Bowie Historic Site. We have the Coronado National Memorial, and we have many other natural attractions in Cochise County. In addition to that, we have some world-class museums like the Amarid Foundation in Dragoon, and lots of other things to see and do. We have some great cities and towns that are wonderfully interesting to visit. Bisbee is a great town for visiting, a historic mining town. The history, the culture, the the attractions just keep going on and on. So it's a great place to visit, and I would like to invite everybody to visit Cochise County and Willcox Wine Country.
Hi, my name is David Russell. I'm the owner and operator of the Bisbee Tourism Center here in Bisbee, Arizona. I've lived in the county for over 20 years and here in Bisbee for about a decade. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the more supernatural and haunted side of the county. Throughout the years of living in Cochise County, I've explored many areas such as Fairbanks, Sunsites, Gleason, just to name a few of over the 50 haunted areas you can explore. Whether if you like walking through the ruins of an abandoned area or taking a look back in history to see a little more of what's just really there. Come out and explore Cochise County. Now, being the owner and operator of the tourism center here in Bisbee, I get asked a lot, where are the best haunted places? What are the best ghost stories? And knowing all the locals, I've heard all the stories. Some of my favorites include tales of the miners being locked in abandoned caves, or the pet bear that used to hang out in the gulch that got strangled in the tree. One of my favorites, though, I think, is laughing every time my tour guide goes out on a ghost tour and they start it by telling the tale of how the owner ran out of the old sheriff's office. You see, every Christmas we have this stuffed bear and it sits right on the steps. Nothing in it, just stuffing. But let me tell you, that thing, it will bark at me every time I walk by. And it's had me run out of the building with doors swinging open and closed every time. So when my guides go out and talk to the local business owners here in Bisbee, they get the real inside scoop of what's really happening. A little bit of the mining history mixed along with what's going on right now, like why the doors just opened and why the lights are flickering all of a sudden. Let's get out of here. Or maybe it's someplace you want to come explore a little more. It's one of my favorite things about living here in Cochise County. The diversity is quite spectacular. Whether if you're looking for the supernatural or something a little more natural, we have it here. Go out and explore and see what Cochise County has to offer. We're waiting for you.
Hi, my name is John Healy. I've lived in Cochise County in Sierra Vista for the last 20 years. My dad retired out here and drug us out here, and I came to enjoy it. I left a couple of times to go work as a contractor for the military. However, I always found myself returning back here to Cochise County. I bought a house out here, and one of the really unique things about Sierra Vista and Cochise County is the ability to walk out your back door and go hiking. Every year, the city of Sierra Vista hosts the Sky Island Summit Challenge. This event takes place in the Huachuca Mountains, and you can choose to do from 10 to 18 miles and 1, 2, or 3 peaks. After your event, you can come join us in Veterans Memorial Park for the Sips and Skies Wine, Beer, and Spirits Festival. Another great, unique hike is hiking in the Dragoon Mountains. From our hikes here in the Huachuca Mountains, we get to see a lot of beautiful trees, a lot of animals and wildlife, from wild turkeys to deer to maybe encountering mountain lions and bears. Hiking in the Dragoon Mountains is a little different. While you still get some of the animals, one of their unique features is the big rocks. So you can hike through and on top of many different rock formations out in the Dragoon Mountains and the Dragoon area. There's so many different trails to take. Takes you through, huge boulders and huge rock faces. It is just so much fun to hike in and around Cochise County and Sierra Vista. If I were to invite someone out, it would be to travel in and around Cochise County, to take them on hikes, to see the beautiful landscape, to Tombstone, to Bisbee, and then here in Sierra Vista to, our wonderful facilities that we have, like our indoor aquatics facility. I love Cochise County because there's so many things to do. You can take 30 minutes and be in so many different places, from visiting the Wild Wild West to visiting a copper mine to hiking one of the major peaks we have here in Cochise County, to getting on your mountain bike and experiencing both the great, weather, the great atmosphere, the wonderful air, and, traveling all around dirt roads, going to Parker Canyon Lake. There are just so many things to do here in Sierra Vista and Cochise County. I like to bring my family out here all the time. They love to visit Tombstone. They love to, just visit all the restaurants that we have. We have so many different types of food here. Bisbee is another great place to go. Just in Cochise County in general, there's so many different things you can enjoy.
Hi, I'm Barrett D'Amato. I've been riding since I was in 2nd grade. I really love cycling because it's a way to escape, ride all the time, and it's really nice. I'm on the Boyna mountain bike team, and that's a huge opportunity for me because with all my teammates and the support, it's just really fun, and we get to ride in a group, and it's just really awesome. And also, Cochise County is just a great place to ride bikes. Brown Canyon, where we're at right now, it's so fun to ride. And there's places like Cooper, and just in the Huachucas is such a great place to ride. And there's a good amount of trails. Also in Cochise County, there's the Chiricahuas and the Dragoons, all these different ranges of mountains that are have tons of trails and roads to climb up, and it's just really awesome in Cochise County. And not only do we have great cycling, but we have really good weather. The climate here is it's really good. I mentioned a lot of different trails, but Brown Canyon Ranch has to be my favorite by far just because it's so close and it's a really fun trail. It's not too far up the mountain, and it has single track, double track, it has technical features. Many trails go up the mountains that split off from just the normal trail, and it's very beautiful up there. And I always run into another cyclist almost every time I ride Brown. And it's just really cool up in Brown. It's a really fun trail. It's not too long, but it's not too short. That's really just why I like Brown. What I really enjoy about Cochise County is there's so many roads and trails and places to ride, and it's not only for mountain bikers. There's lots of roads and they're nicely paved. There's just lots of places you could ride for road. I've ridden out to Tombstone and back. I've ridden out to Bisbee and back. There's so many places you could ride for road, and it's a challenge. There's challenges out here if you're someone who wants to take on challenges. The Arizona Trail is a part of our county, and it is really fun to ride, and it goes all the way from the bottom of Arizona to the top of Arizona, and it's a really cool trail, and there's different pieces of it throughout Arizona that you can ride, but I really like the one by Parker. It's really fun. And Bisbee features a lot of roads and climbing if you're into that kind of stuff. And Chiricahuas also has roads and climbing. And there's also other places like Tombstone and Palominas. And there's also Montezuma Pass, which is on the end of our mountain range. It's right by the border. It's a nice climb. And if you take that climb, you can ride that road all the way to Parker Lake. And that's a really cool place because it's still a part of our county. And other than that, Cochise County is just a great place to ride because there's so many mountain ranges and roads and places to ride. It's just really fun. So I suggest you guys come ride here.
Hi, my name is Angel Manuel, owner of Siva Climbing. It's a little climbing gym in Sierra Vista, Arizona in Cochise County. We have guiding and also training for climbing indoors and outdoors. I've been in Cochise County for around 14 years. I've been developing climbing areas But at Cochise Stronghold, the Dry, and here at the Mustangs and the farmhouse, we have around 100 or plus climbing all around this area. At Cochise County, we have close to 2,000 routes that we have to climb. We have had visitors here from Olympians climbing at the Dry, to magazines coming down and taking pictures of all our surroundings that we have. We have world-class climbing and it's magnificent type of rocks. You see fossils in the limestones from the seashells, and even little foots that you can see at the Dry Canyon from animals from back in the day. We also have caves. At Cochise Stronghold is a type of granite that you see crystals when you climb. It's pretty good. But they are, at Cochise Stronghold, you see more of the altitude. You have multiple ways of climbing over there. We have multi-pitch over there. So what is a multi-pitch? Multi-pitch basically is getting to the top of a climb. Most likely it's gonna be around 60 to 100 feet, the first pitch, and then you keep going up until you get to the top of the dome. So that's what Cochise Stronghold has. It's very famous for that. Sheepshead, the Rockefellers, and an inner passage that we have that you can pass from one section of the stronghold to the other. The Dry Canyon and the farmhouse are more sport. Sport climbing is basically you clip the rope through the anchors that you see on the walls, and you go up without falling. Try not to fall, but you will fall. And you just get to the top of the climb and come back down. Those two areas are a little bit difficult, but that's the challenging part of the sport. And then we have bouldering, which is not fully in the county, but there is bouldering. Bouldering, we have it at the Huachuca Mountain, Kartchner Canyon, and Ramsey Canyon. There is scarce bouldering around. If you want information, we have those information that we can take you out to those locations. They're great. So for novice climbers, let's go to Sweet Rock. Those are the main climbs to start climbing. It gives you a feeling of how to climb. It's very low angle with beautiful views, beautiful location, and beautiful ambience. This is in the ILU area. If you want to step it up in the same location as a Cochise Stronghold, we go multi-pitching, which is going up a mountain in several layers from 60 feet to 500 feet. And that location will be Sheepshead. Sheepshead is great. The views from that location is magnificent. The sunsets are a great finish for those climbings all the way. For hard climbing to push yourself, that will be the Dry Canyon. The Dry Canyon just gives you all the techniques that you will need for climbing, from movement, physique, and finger strength. We have one of the hardest routes in the country in the Dry Canyon called Lee Majors, and one of our Olympians came down and did the first ascent for it. In my preference, as myself, just to come climbing, I prefer the farmhouse because we have it all in the farmhouse. You have from in the vineyard, from very mellow climbing to very hard climbing in this area. Just be prepared for some good hiking.
Hi there, I'm Ken Blankenship with East West Birding Tours, and we are standing right here on the San Pedro River in beautiful Cochise County at the Casa de San Pedro B&B, where East West Birding Tours is based. I've been birding for about 16 or 17 years, and I've always been an outdoorsman. That was my mom's side of the family that got me into backpacking and camping, but the first time I bought a field guide and I looked up my first yellow-rumped warbler and northern flicker, I was hooked. And I started to notice something, though, over time, and that was that if I wanted to see certain bird species, every page I'd flip, it seemed, there was a tantalizing pattern of range maps that only came into the United States right here in southern Arizona. Hummingbirds, elegant trogons, birds that look like they belong in the tropics, to be honest, and I just had to come and learn about these birds. Well, here we are many years later after a career in teaching, and I'm still teaching really, but I like this classroom just a little bit better than a brick and mortar building, and I've changed subject areas to be teaching ornithology basically. That's what brings us here. That's what brought me here. Cochise County has incredible birding. The bird species here are more like those in western and northern Mexico than they are anywhere else in the United States. The Sky Island mountain ranges of the Huachucas, the Chiricahuas, the Santa Rita Mountains, and their canyons have birds that many people have never seen before, and they won't see in the United States unless they come here. So many birds flock to southeast Arizona because of that biodiversity. We have wide open grasslands that remind people more of Wyoming than just on the border of Mexico. In the wintertime, that brings a great diversity of sparrows and longspurs and raptors to our grasslands, along with the beautiful scenery. Even pronghorns are running around out there as if it's the Wild West. You get the great birds of the wintertime here. In spring, that's when people get really excited about coming to southeast Arizona. As the temperatures warm up, migration begins. And we have a wide selection of tropical birds that spend most of their lives in Central America, but they come here to set up territories and raise their young in the Sky Island mountain ranges of Cochise County. The canyons here are typical of the Sierra Madre mountain range, which runs up the interior west of Mexico and just enters the United States, almost like a little finger poking up into the southeast corner of Arizona. So basically, these oaks and junipers and sycamores are a lot more like being hundreds of miles to our south. As April turns into May, various warblers, flycatchers, and other specialties of the Sky Islands are in full swing, singing, defending territories, and raising their young. We also have a wide selection of desert birds here. The Chihuahuan Desert creeps into Cochise County from the east, and we get just a little bit of the Sonoran Desert coming in from the west. So that's going to be characterized by your dry, arid birds like cactus wrens and curve-billed thrashers, and a highly sought-after bird, the gilded flicker. So that's another habitat type. It isn't just about horizontal distribution of habitats that are so different, it's also vertical. As you get higher into our mountains, you get into conifers, pines, and firs. And some of the birds that are high in our mountains, you might think about Colorado before you'd think about Cochise County, Arizona, but there they are. Whenever we have clients come and ask us to design a tour for them, there's a few key species that really come to mind that they were looking to find here. I think the poster child of southeast Arizona birding is the elegant trogon, a very large tropical bird draped in reds and whites and emerald greens. Really, again, looks a lot like you're down in Costa Rica, but they're right here. Another one that people really want to see is the squeaky sounding sulfur-bellied flycatcher, a very large, streaky flycatcher that in July is making a ruckus up in our canyons. And I have to say, a lot of people really want to see our nocturnal birds as well. We have the only area in the country where you can see the small whiskered screech owl. If you want to see them, you got to come here. We have up to a dozen hummingbird species that breed here every summer. And sometimes we'll see 2 or 3 additional rarities show up from Mexico. I guess when I think about it, well, the blue-throated mountain gem, no. The Lucifer hummingbird, that's got to be my favorite of all of them though, with a bright wine-colored gorget that comes way down his neck, big curved bill. We love our Lucifer hummingbirds. I'm a big history buff myself, especially military history, and there is a long story here in this area that doesn't have a long history as being part of the United States, from the Spanish explorers to the Mexican culture, Native Americans who were here before everyone, and American settlers coming out in the 1800s. It might also surprise a lot of our visitors that we have a thriving wine industry here. If you are a fan of reds especially, you gotta come see us here in Southeast Arizona. Go to some tasting rooms and order a couple cases and have them shipped. That's what we do for our friends at Christmas time. But when you come here, see me to show you the birds, but see Cochise County for so much more than just birds.
Thank you for joining the Explore Cochise virtual fam tour. We hope you enjoyed the sky-high view of what Cochise County has to offer. To plan your next adventure, visit explorecochise.com. You are now free to roam about the county.